I don't know what's going on and why niggas popping it like I'm not just a female. Like,
Hey fam. Alright, this was not the turnout that we were all expecting, particularly Chrisean Rock. At some point, everything appeared to be going in support of herself, and afterward the following thing she knew. Things blew up to her in a moment. I surmise you ought to make an effort not to remove one more young ladies' man on the off chance that you're not prepared for the results. We as a whole realize that she should feel a specific way, since let us tell the truth, many idea that she would triumph ultimately in this circle of drama. Yet for reasons unknown, Blueface needed to take care of business with Jiden, bringing about Chrisean going excessively far as to guaranteeing that they were all the while having intercourse despite the fact that they are, as of now, not together. I have barely any familiarity with you, however word on the roads asserts that Chrisean is presently confronting a few serious fights in court, which Blueface is ridiculing. Allow me to inform you really regarding that. In any case, no, this new issue that Chrisean is associated with isn't about the words and malignant stories that she is spreading about Blueface and Jiden. This one is something different. Appears as though Chrisean's concerns are stacking up and think about who is the most joyful among every one of her critics. Clearly, it is as a matter of fact, Blueface himself. That is to say, for what reason would he say he was generally so squeezed with regards to Chrisean? Well, would he say he is acting unpleasant whatnot, rather than zeroing in on her significant other-to-be? Notwithstanding his enormous inner self, things wouldn't be, however, untidy and tumultuous as it seems to be currently. All things considered, as I have referenced, this battle is an alternate one. Large numbers of us saw Chrisean took part in actual battles previously. Come on, her and Blueface love to hurt each other. In this way, to say that they are one poisonous couple is putting it mildly. However, this time, this battle with other, all the more impressive characters turned into a serious difficulty for Chrisean. I bet that she could never again invest heavily in this contention. Oak, in the event that you have not been stayed up with the latest, then let me update you on the most recent about her. Obviously, she beat somebody up, and she is being sued for what she did. Chrisean was welcome to Tamar Braxton's show as she should open for her a couple of days prior. Issues began to emerge when they didn't allow her to perform in front of an audience. That was not the finish of it, since she clearly caused a situation as she hurt and poured her outrage on James Wright, one of Tamar's companions. Gracious, no doubt, how is it that I could neglect to make reference to that she broke James' nose? Like goodness my golly, what was she thinking? Anybody who went through what James did would, without a doubt, not simply allowed it to go unaddressed. He promptly recorded a police report, yet she was not happy with simply that since he is taking things to a higher level, court, this is going to get wild. What's more, when things like this happen to Chrisean, trust Blueface to engage in the show despite the fact that he was not piece of it in the first place. Appears as though this is Chrisean's karma for likewise engaging in Jiden and Blue's relationship. Everybody is by all accounts discussing what occurred on the web, and moving ahead is the only option for Chrisean. Young lady, do you need to be that savage? Like in the event that somebody isn't equipped for controlling their feelings, particularly their annoyance like this, then something is off about you, you know. Individuals really have her back when Jiden was tossing conceal on her a couple of months prior. Many even guarded her when Blueface was being a flippant dad to their child. In any case, presently, that large number of supports went out the channel, since how is it that you could legitimize such a demonstration? There is no thinking out of what she did. On the off chance that you have not seen this yet, that indeed, she additionally punched her own beautician before people in general with cameras encompassing them too. Thus, pushing ahead to when she was pregnant with her and Blueface's kid, Individuals believed that this could change her hazardous way of behaving on the grounds, that this would likely relax her. Well, incidentally, she only disappeared for some time. However, her inborn capacity to hurt and be fierce will constantly be there. Truly, this young lady needs an assistance to move past such way of behaving. Tamar Braxton was having her Adoration and War visit in LA several days prior. Chrisean went to the occasion and even got up in front of an audience with Tamar. In the event that you have been following them or a devotee of both of them, then you would likewise be perplexed about what happened in light of the fact that them showing up together in front of an audience is something unforeseen. In fact, this event previously had loads of eyebrows raised. Bunches of individuals are saying that they are not even on a similar level. Indeed, let us tell the truth, that assertion is ruthless, yet evident. Be that as it may, in the event that you are thinking about what occurred in the show and what she did there, then, at that point, here is the clasp. I know. I realize I'm not by any means the only one who got recycled humiliation. She seemed to be a youngster that was let be by her mother someplace and afterward haphazardly ran up the stage. It was so abnormal. She was abnormal. Along these lines, and how everything didn't appear to be legit, individuals recently theorized that Tamar brought her there for some exposure and clout. It worked, however, on the grounds that individuals discussed how odd it is. Indeed, whether it was positive or negative exposure, it was still exposure. However, they were flowing. Yet that was the thing they needed to show on that post. It doesn't imply that Chrisean was really acting right and coexisting with everyone behind the stage. Simply see how Tamar's sister was side-looking at her. Tony was feeling entirety. You would clearly feel some strain currently in this clasp. Seems like one of the colleagues not happy with Chrisean contacting her. On the off chance that she was at that point behaving like this with people watching them and cameras all around, then envision how she acted behind the stage. As indicated by certain reports, Chrisean was all in all too tipsy to maintain good manners. That is no great explanation to toss punches, I know. Unfortunate James for being the objective in one of Chrisean's fits. So this occurred according to the accounts that I have heard. At the point when Chrisean should emerge in front of an audience, the staff couldn't view as her. Clearly, they couldn't defer the show only for her, so they needed to continue onward. Chrisean was supposed to be outside as of now, as she was attempting to get her companion in. She previously missed her prompt, so she ran back inside. It was beginning to get warmed from here. One of the showrunners is James. He likewise turned out to be the one to clear up the circumstance for Chrisean. You have gotten it right. She was upset, and James was driving her up the wall, despite the fact that she was the person who was untrustworthy in this present circumstance. She just out of nowhere tosses punches on James, who wound up with a messed up nose. To exacerbate the situation, Tamar was in the room when she blew her top and began a scene. At the end of the day, have some disgrace for the individual who welcomed you there. She was not even expected to be there, notwithstanding Tamar. This young lady is truly amazing. After she took off from the police that very evening, she actually had the dauntlessness to go about as though nothing occurred as she posted this clasp on her Instagram stories. It didn't take long for James to make sense of his side of the story by going live on Instagram also. One more companion of James composed this web-based saying, "I simply need to allow you all to know that that young lady Chrisean, all of you continued to publicity up, attacked James' right channel at Tamar's show this evening. James is in the medical clinic. I swear I will do all that to ensure she goes to jail. She is garbage, and for that reason her life is how it is. She merits each awful thing that happens to her. And indeed, she is right here, actually attempting to shield herself. Things are clearly not in support of Chrisean, so she should be acting right since her vocation can go easy from now on. Thus, fam, how would you figure Chrisean will move past this present circumstance? Let your contemplations fall down in the remarks. Spill that tea. What's more, obviously, remember to hit that like button in the event that you're living for this hurricane of show. Buy in so you never miss a snapshot of superstar scoop, and set yourselves up for the following stunning episode. Until sometime later, remain remarkable. Furthermore, presently, look at this next story. Bye-bye.